What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo, and with me tonight is a very, very special guest host. You know him from Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101 as the general manager. You know him from Squared Circle Pro as an announcer and interviewer. You know him from BCW Texas as a commentator and all around fashion expert. He is the one, the only Lee XL. Lee, welcome to the podcast, man.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, I'm usually very camera ready. You've caught me at a time to where I am practicing for the debut of my new look. That's going to be this weekend at SCP. And I've got something big planned. Have to do a lot of training for it. And it's going to be great. It's going to be monumental. It's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be
Think of many
fantastic.
things you
I
do
can't
that
wait.
aren't.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to see it.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it myself. Since I knew I was going to have a fashion icon on the show, I dressed up a little bit myself.
You know, you look, I don't tell people this all the time. You look better than I do right now.
Well, that is definitely a feather in my hat. Appreciate you. Before we get started tonight, there are a few thank yous I need to throw out there. I want to go ahead and say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's been like 3 years. They are working on a new album right now, getting some music video out, and you can check out everything they have going on, labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Thank you to Joe and American Legacy for our Not Your Average merch. We got hats, we've got beanies, we got skull caps, we've got bandanas, we got all sorts of good stuff. Thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing. Do you see this little piece of awesome right here? That is a J-Reb original. My boy Cameron hooked it up for me. So if you have some sort of logo or some sort of picture you'd like to have in a light box like that, hit him up, jrebs3dprinting.com. Cameron will get you taken care of. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all our great graphics. Thank you to the WrestlingSociety.com for including us in their podcast room. And of course, thank you to the one that puts it all together, makes it all work, the guy. Patrick, appreciate what you do. You may ask yourself, what is it that Patrick does? Well, I'll tell you what he does. He put together our website, notyouraverage.com. We've got all sorts of good stuff there. We got bios. We've got a calendar. You can see where we're going to be. We've got merch. It's all there on the website. Go check it out. And then our newest thing, of course, is our Discord. You can find the link for the Discord on any of the socials under the About section. And we do watch-alongs for Raw and SmackDown and PLEs, and we've done NXT. We've even done the Clown Show, AEW. It's a good time. We get quite a few people in, and we'd like you, if you have not already joined the Discord, to do so. That being said, my friend, let's talk some wrestling, shall we?
We shall. So, I just was watching a bit of Dynamite. I know you said even AEW. I don't know how far you get into the AEW of it all. Or if you just want to talk Raw, SmackDown, or just do a little bit of everything. I watch a little bit of everything. So we can get into whatever. I especially enjoy AAA and NXT right now.
Absolutely.
And I hear that NWA is good. I enjoy TNA as well. So whatever you want to talk about, I'm game for.
All right. Sounds good to me. Well, we have a term we like to use for AEW around here. We refer to it as the Clown Show because Tony Khan is a clown.
Okay.
Now his wrestlers, on the other hand, they do a very good job. There are some guys on there, guys and gals both, that I truly like to watch. I'm just not a big Tony Khan fan.
So AEW is kind of a complex case. I enjoy wrestling in general. I'm sure we all do. We're all big fans of it. You know, when I was a young fashion model, I was always watching wrestling, and I was always keeping in the know just about it, and watching it grow and evolve, and the competition just go as it is. The thing with AEW is they try to do this thing that's called, they're providing an alternative. That's what they like to say anyway. I feel like that they feel that gives them the leeway to be kind of lackadaisical about it and just do whatever they want without much structure. It doesn't work very well for me. I watch it still, but I think they're the ones that I'm the most nitpicky on. I don't get too into the personal backstage of it all, the Tony Khan and the whatnot, because what matters to me is on screen. And when I see AEW on screen, I always hope for the best. And sometimes I get that with certain segments. Sometimes it certain things exceed, but just today, for instance, what happened? Because it was yesterday's Dynamite, correct?
Right.
I'm
Wednesday.
getting my days mixed up. I've been so busy getting ready to debut this new look that I have. That it's just been, everything's been a blur. But there was yesterday's Dynamite. It just had some things. I know people are divisive about Darby Allin as champion, and just some things are so out of place. You have a hair match here. You have a barbed wire match. They don't build as well as they should. They just kind of blow it all at you at once and expect you to kind of try to, grasp it, which is fine. It's for a certain section of fans. They're not kind of planning for a long term. They're really more of like they're enjoyed by the newer generation, this TikTok generation, which is kind of like, give me what I want now. No really thoughts on any future or any build.
Well, and part of that has to do with the fact that Tony Khan is a super fan. Tony Khan puts together matches to have the matches he thinks are going to be really, really cool. And I don't particularly have a problem with that, except you get no storytelling from that. And to me, it's always been about storytelling.
And yeah, that's what it should be about, really, is that there needs to be some story in the match and some sort of variety. And sure, you can have your hardcore match in there, but when you have about 8 matches doing the same thing, you become less of a variety than you think you are. You think you're, providing something, but it's almost like, they're not watching each other's matches. They're just going out there doing everything that's in the playbook instead of, things here and there, which is what they teach us at the school that I'm the general manager of. They teach us to everything in moderation, make your moves count, don't, do everything in one match. And the AEW just kind of does the opposite, I've noticed. And a lot of the people that I've met backstage are very against that.
They truly are. I mean, I'm looking over at the chat and Mike saying I've heard it referred to as a super indie before. And I mean, honestly, you can kind of see that with the matches they put together. My concern comes in, like I said, with the storytelling and with taking Darby Allin, for instance. I don't have a problem with Darby Allin being champ. Darby Allin's put the work in. He's a good talent. My problem is he's going to be in a wheelchair before he's 35 because the things he does are ridiculous.
Sure. And you talk about Darby Allin. So he is a great talent. He's somebody that I think he needs somebody to book him better, because you see him take a million moves and then he ends up just winning. I saw him fall. I believe he fell from a great height onto a couple of tables. And at that point you think, oh, the guy's dead. But he won his match with almost as much energy as he came into the match. So
we've got a little bit of a pause in this. Lee dropped out for just a second. I'm sure he'll be right back.
180-pound guy can decisively win after being thrown to his death. What are we doing?
Exactly. What are we doing? There's no storyline to it. But I'll tell you what. Let me say a couple of quick things about the chat. Want to say what's up to Mikey and Fred. Subscribed for a 34th month in a row. You are the man, sir. Appreciate you so much for that. A little bit of outside wrestling news from Jello. Sad day in sports. Kyle Busch, NASCAR champion, passing away at 41 years old. Condolences to Kyle Busch's family and friends. It's always a sad day. I'll tell you what, it looks like he may have dropped out for just a minute. With AEW, I refer to it as the clown show all the time. Like that's just what I do. I think Tony Khan's a clown. I don't like the way he does it, but it is so important to have that place, have that competition. What do they say? Iron sharpens iron. Well, you have more of a want to sharpen that iron when you have competition. So I think AEW is absolutely 100% a necessity. I think there's some changes that could be made that would make it better. I think they need to give Jeff Jarrett the pencil and let him do the booking and the writing and let Tony Khan just be Tony Khan. We're going to have the guy checking back in with Leah Excel to see if we can get him back on in here.
I'm here.
Oh, you're still here?
Yeah, I got kicked for a second. My apologies.
No worries. I'm not seeing a video on this, but I can hear your voice. There we go. There's the video. I like it. I like it. So I tell you what, let's talk a little SmackDown, shall we?
I'm always down to talk SmackDown.
So we started SmackDown last week with Trick Willie coming home, and he wasted no time letting everybody know about it. We got the origin of his lemon pepper steppers, went to his favorite restaurants, dropped a little bit of sauce on his shoe.
Yeah, we got drops everywhere. That's okay. I'm known to improvise in a tough spot. So, can you still hear me? Okay, great. So he mentioned what the NASCAR, the young guy. I didn't. Now, forgive me. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I don't follow it. It's not super fashion friendly, I'll say. So it's not up my alley. It's not in my area of expertise. And it's not very flashy. It's just kind of, here it is. Here's the cars. So forgive me for not, knowing who that was, but it passed away at a very young age. So that's very sad and unfortunate. But I guess he started talking about SmackDown. Should I just talk without him? I could talk for lengths about SmackDown. So what's good about the show as a whole, and honestly, I think it's better than Raw. And I don't know where that opinion lands or whatever, because I try to not read the online opinion of everybody else, just to not cloud my judgment, because when I go into like a movie or anything, when I hear other people's opinions, it tends to sway my own. So I don't like to kind of muddy my waters, if you know what I mean. I like to have my own pure, filtered thoughts going through it. And I have to watch SmackDown without anybody else's opinion.
I think we're back.
Or seeing anybody. Hey, you're back. Sorry, I was just going. I was talking about SmackDown and how I think it's a great show. I think it's better than Raw. The way it flows, the way the characters are more interesting, the stories that are told and everything, and just the way that they kind of have certain beats.
No, I can agree with that. I don't know that I would call SmackDown better than Raw. I think Raw's moving a little faster right now.
I figured that I was going to get that from somebody, and I'm just not big on who Raw is choosing to go forward with. I'm not a Braun Breaker guy, I gotta say.
You know what? I can go with that. I'm not much of a Braun Breaker guy myself. I prefer, like, if you're gonna go with somebody like Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins is not the one. I mean, I realize we have the storyline there, we have the history there, but it's just, it doesn't work for me.
I mean, Seth can get a lot of good out of out of Braun Breaker. That's the whole point, is that, you know, these stars can be built by other stars. So if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Seth. However, for me, I don't like, how do I put this? I don't like how obvious certain things are with Sol Rucas, with Braun Breakers, with company-backed people that you just know are going to have all the backing, all the support of everybody, and they don't have much of an, I mean, of course, I don't know what they go through on a daily, but I don't see them being released and or having to fight for it. I think that they're always going to have a position in that sense. So I am kind of not against them, but I will root for the Baileys over the Sol Rucas, because I feel like that's somebody, Bailey is somebody who's had to kind of scratch and claw for her spot. And as we saw,
100%.
Ruca's just given a very, very lucrative immediate spot. But I don't remember Bailey having that.
I will say Sol Ruca worked her way through NXT to the point she was doing side quests. Like she has been main event ready, or not main event, but main roster ready for about 9 months now.
And trust me, there is a reason. There's a good reason for people like Sol Rucas and Braun Breakers to for the company to put their faith in. However, it can come to a point where it's almost shoved down our throats in a way to where I can't support, not can't, but like it's difficult for me to give them my full vote. I just am always, I'm a bit of a rebel, Johnny. I'm just kind of against the company as a whole for the most part in their thoughts, because I know what they want, but I also know what I like, and it doesn't always line up.
No, I get you. I get you. Now, one thing we got Mike Caldwell joining us. What's up, Mike?
Love the fashion today, Mike.
And we had apparently we've got some lightning and a little bit of wind going on right now, so we ended up in a position where my internet decided it was going to blink out for a minute, but we're back now and talking about some SmackDown. I like what they're doing with Trick Williams. That I've said all along, they have to be careful with Trick Williams because they brought him in as a heel, and you have to be real careful with what you let him do because he's got the look, he's got the catchphrases, he's got, you know, he's got everything going for him, and he's got the crowd behind him. So it's hard to pass him off as a heel like that.
Well, the good thing about Trick is he doesn't have to be. So now that he's a face, he can still keep his heel tendencies. So I don't think that a heel or a face has to be one thing or the other. I think that when the case of Trick and Sammy, you know, Sammy being, I guess, the heel, you know, and Trick doing his thing, it's like they're not clearly defined as like, okay, this guy's a face, this guy's a heel. And sometimes that can come to, you know, bite somebody. That can be kind of detrimental to booking. It can confuse fans, but I think it works with those two.
I think it does too. And of course, as I said, Trick's out there and he's telling everybody how glad he is to be home. He thanks everybody from his favorite restaurant to his mama. And out comes The Miz and Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson decides to challenge Little Yachty to some slam poetry while the crowd, how do I say this nicely? Crowd makes chants regarding the size or perhaps lack thereof of Mrs. Testicular Fortitude.
Sorry, I'm here. It's
yeah,
I'm
Patrick,
straining to hear you.
Let me make sure I got my mic turned up here. But the crowd started the tiny balls chant again, and we're at a point where we're going, okay, is this a thing again, or is this coming back? The crowd in SmackDown has always been one of the biggest parts of the show for me because they get into just about everything.
So this crowd was pretty good. That's the thing about American crowds. They tend to not be fantastic. And that's why I'm excited for Clash in Italy, because that's looking, I mean, it's going to be great. The crowds that are, not from the States really appreciate it a lot more.
I agree. I still say one of the loudest crowds I ever heard was in France, in Paris, when they did Clash in Paris, and they were
Love
going
that.
crazy for
Love that. Have you been?
Styles. This, of course, brought us into our first match. It was The Miz versus Trick Williams, and it was a decent match for what it was. Miz showed himself as the consummate professional he is. I can never say enough good things about The Miz because he is the utility player. If you need a champion, you call The Miz. If you need somebody to make a champion, you call The Miz. If you need a comedy skit, you call The Miz. He is good at whatever you need him to do. In this case, it's
Miz is the MVP.
Hometown boy. What's that?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Miz is the MVP, man.
100%.
I aspire to be like The Miz.
And that is a good aspiration to have. I will always talk well about The Miz. I don't care what storyline he's in. If you need somebody over, you put The Miz in. That's just he elevates whoever he's in the ring with.
Yeah, Miz has got it. Miz has got it. Yeah, SmackDown as a whole was good. Miz is always a highlight, no matter where you stick him.
I agree wholeheartedly. And with this, of course, Miz kind of freaked out because he hits the skull crushing finale. Trick kicks out of it, hits him with the trick shot 1, 2, 3, and still United States champion Trick Willie.
He also, I think he has the most kicked out of finisher of anybody on the roster.
I think you may
if
be
I'm
right.
not mistaken. I think if I were Miz, I would go back to the drawing board and figure out a new thing. I know he used to do, I believe it was the overdrive, if I'm not mistaken, a while back. Yeah, and he called it. So I think it was like the reality check. He used to do a knee with the neck breaker that didn't really flow very well. But the skull crushing finale has given him a lot of success, but recently it's kind of diminished.
No, I agree with that. And we go from that, we go into our second match. It's Paige and Brie Bella, our women's tag team champions, up against Julia, Kiana James. So while this was a good match, and I won't take anything away from any of these ladies, I just want to talk for a second about how well Kiana James and Julia work a match. Like when they're taking shots, they are selling machines. And when they're on the offense, they are aggressive as hell. So kudos to them on that. Like that is, as Enzo would say, you can't teach that.
Sure. Kudos for sure. I might have to give a bit of sprinkle, just a little fairy dust sprinkle of negativity. I'm not a Julia person. I'm not completely sold on her from the presentation aspect because she's a great performer. It's more to me about who is Julia? What can Julia give me that I haven't seen before? What's going to excite me about a Julia? And I haven't found it yet. She is very new to the roster. I'll give her a little bit. If it was 101, I don't know how often I would book Julia because I don't see what is it, that je ne sais quoi, that star potential. I see somebody almost as a copy paste. I know that's kind of a pain in the ass to hear.
No, I mean that's the beauty part about this show is we like to hear real thoughts and real opinions on things.
And I don't want to do. I mean, I'm in my Zen mode at the moment. I'm at home. I'm away from all of the fairly disgusting smelling people that are at the shows. So I feel good. I'm decompressing. I got back from training, and I feel good. So I'm in a positive space to where I'm not angry, and I'm not trying to start like a flame war, but Julia is just not one of those for me. I'll definitely give her some time. I'm not one of those people that's going to get online and talk shit about it. We could say shit, correct? This is not PG.
No, you're fine.
Great.
That you're fine with that.
Great. I use very colorful language. You've had to tell me a few times, because I work for you on commentary, like you told the people. So forgive me. That's just how I speak. Also not trying to offend, but good. As long as the language is good, then
No, you're fine with the language.
gloves are off, I suppose.
Yeah, in fact. So
All right.
of course, tag team champions get the victory. Paige hits Kiana James with the Rampage DDT. I like what they're doing with reintroducing our tag team champions. I can't say that I disagree when they say that it's kind of a nostalgia tour, but every now and then we need a nostalgia tour.
So, yes, and I noticed that there are times where Paige and Brie they're a bit slower, which is fine. It's to be expected.
Right.
But it's okay. Like you said, we need that. People love it. People get a great reaction from it. Excuse me 1 second. I'm getting a proper setup here.
No, you're good. Mike, what are your thoughts on the women's tag team champions and the fact that they're calling them a nostalgia tour of sorts? Oh, absolutely. And not only am I glad to see Paige healthy, I'm glad to see her back in a WWE ring because for a long time, even when she was at AEW, somebody would ask about WWE, she never had a bad thing to say. So I'm glad she's had the opportunity to come home. Right. So next thing we're going to talk about is the Cody and Gunther promo. This was such a good setup. When you're going to put a surprise match out there, this is the way you do it. So Cody sets up tables and chairs. See, there's the Lee XL. I know.
I feel better. I feel like me.
He comes out, he sets up tables, sets up the chairs, invites Gunther to the ring, says, here's the contract, sign it. And Gunther, being who Gunther is, says, say please. Ask me with some respect, say please. And I love the fact that Royce Keys comes down and says, you know what? You don't want to sign the contract. I'm going to sign the contract. And Gunther's like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, you're not. And Nick Aldis, being my hero, comes in and says, wait a minute. I got an idea. Why don't we have a number one contenders match right here tonight?
So the thing I liked about that, it was different than other contract signings, really, because you get to see almost like the negotiation fall through. And that was interesting. That was a cool way to see somebody talk themselves out of essentially a main event spot, almost. I don't want to get too spoilery, but I liked it, and I liked that the GM was doing GM work, which is what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, I'm speaking of myself. They should be doing GM work, and that's what we're seeing a lot with Aldis. Not so much with Pierce. He kind of lets people make the matches up, or at least, that's how they go about with Raw. That's why I'm saying SmackDown has a lot of different elements to it that to me make it a better show to watch. It is lengthy. I will say that 3 hours is a little too long. I need my beauty rest. I need my regimens, and it kind of cuts into a lot of that. A lot
That
of the
will be
time.
changing. That will be changing. I don't know whether it's the first part of June or the first part of July, but we will be going back to a 2 hour format on SmackDown.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
So they're running half the year at 3 hours, half the year at 2 hours. I'm just
Okay.
not sure if it's all the way through June and do it in July, or they're going to do it in June. But we will be going back to a 2 hour SmackDown.
Great.
So beauty rest will be intact. You know who doesn't need their beauty rest? Ricky Saints. And he had a match with Carmelo Hayes. And I'm like really impressed by this match. Like, if you watch the match, the chemistry in there is absolutely great. And then you find out that these two have never shared a ring before this match.
And
So
sure, yeah, makes sense.
to find that chemistry that fast.
And they were at NXT in 2 different times of their careers. I believe Mello was just leaving as Saints was coming up, so that makes sense. It was a great match. That's the thing. It told a great story, and to me, it gave a very good ending. To where I think Ricky is one of those guys to where he's going to be one of my favorites, because he's going to be almost in that Miz category of somebody who can do it all. I mean, nobody's really quite the Miz's level, but somebody who is almost bulletproof, and his losses won't matter as much as people think. People put a lot of stake in wins and losses.
I get that. Being a GM yourself, of course, I'm GM as well.
No,
One of
yes.
the things that I said regarding Ricky Saints last week is that I'm trying to figure out where they're going with him, because I know they want to give him the push. But you put him in the ring with Matt Cardona and you're wanting to give him that push that he's fixing to make that big jump. You can't be going 50-50 with Matt Cardona. And I think this match actually counteracted that. Like, because this match was really, really good.
Well, I see your point. To me, Cardona came back because he always has wanted to come back, and WWE's his company, and I'm glad that he's back. I feel like he's glad he's back doing his character, not getting wins, kind of more enhancement talent what he used to do, but almost in like a better way, because he's not getting squashed in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? He's putting on competitive matches with these people, with Ricky Saints. He even, honestly, he took Randy Orton to a good limit. Not a lot can say that. That wouldn't have been Zack Ryder's deal. So Cardona, I think, is in a better spot. Ricky Saints losing, it doesn't affect him as much, because I imagine the backlash if Carmelo had lost, and that's what I think really affects the shows too. That's why I try to drown out the noise, because the people are unbearable. They can make a show unwatchable. Like what are you a fan of? Like what other fandoms?
I'm a fandom. I'm a 9 Inch Nails fan as far as music goes.
Okay.
I'm a Marvel fan.
There we go. Okay. Do you read the opinions of Marvel fans online?
No, I don't.
Okay. That's exactly
The
the
internet
thing.
wrestling community has trained me not to look online if I want
Good.
honest opinion.
You're very smart. That's why you have the job that you have. It's a toxic place, and I know, Mikey, you can attest to that as well. It can be kind of depressing to see what other people think about things that you're enjoying. So I'm enjoying SmackDown. I think it's great. And then I work next to an AEW super fan, or sicko as they call him. Ugh. But yeah, I get to hear about all of the fantastic things that AEW does. And of course WWE does everything wrong. So it could be, it's like yelling at like a wall, essentially, to trying to argue with somebody who is a fan of that nature.
Oh, absolutely. The IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, is the most fickle group of people. We made a joke about it after Backlash that the Internet Wrestling Community was bitching because they didn't have anything to bitch about for Backlash.
Yeah, and they're gonna find something. That's what I mean. Like they'll pick a SmackDown, but SmackDown was a great show. It
What?
had a bunch of great matches too. The main event was fantastic, and like it gives Royce Keys the spotlight. It gives Ricky Saints the spotlight. It just kind of is. It's different than what we thought they were gonna do, but I think that people get in their heads too much, and their fantasy booking isn't matched to what they see online. So it
100%, that's what
becomes,
it is.
yeah, yeah. It becomes that they disappointed themselves. They played
So,
themselves.
Jello in the chat saying we like to use the IWC as a punchline, and we really do. Uh, they piss me off, man. They really
Yeah.
do. I'm actually going to talk about them here in a few minutes because I don't like something that they've got going on. In the end, in this match, of course, Carmelo Hayes gets the win. The funny part is Ricky Saints tries to get the dirty win, tries to use the ropes to get the pin, and ref sees it, shuts it down. Mello does the exact same thing, gets the win. Was it dirty? Yes. Was it a lot of fun to watch? Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, there's like what more can be said. That there's a big upside for both.
It really is. Um, we get Damian Priest versus Tama Tonga. This was a good match that almost wasn't. Not that it almost wasn't a good match, but it almost wasn't this match because initially this was set up to be a tag team match. It was supposed to be Damian Priest and R-Truth versus Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga. However, R-Truth not medically cleared to wrestle right now, so we get the singles match. Damian Priest, Tama Tonga. Both guys had their shining moments in this one, but Priest able to get the 1-2-3 after the Razor's Edge. The side note on this for me though is, have you noticed the MFTs didn't get involved during the match? Like how refreshing was that to see a clear winner, a clear loser, and no interference by the MFTs?
It's pretty interesting. I feel like the MFTs kind of need to get involved in each other's match because it gets the fans more invested. So the MFTs they have a clear point. Um, it Damien doesn't do a lot for the people by himself. I don't know if you guys have noticed that he doesn't get the reaction that the company hopes he would get, and I don't know what it is that he has to do to get to that next level. Um, I feel like being a heel again for him will be a good start because he doesn't get the face reaction, and an eventual turn on Truth will do it. I know they're trying to
Oh yeah.
rebuild their tag team division, but that eventual turn it'll piss people off, and
One,
that's
one
what
of the
it's all
things
about.
one of the things they've done that I really like is putting him with Truth because it's given him the opportunity to be Damian Priest instead of the forced badass.
Yeah,
I'm Damian Priest all the time. Like it's given him a chance to sit back and just be Damian Priest. He can smile, he can laugh, and half the time I don't think they tell him what Truth is going to do just to get that genuine reaction.
it gives them other dimensions, and
Yeah.
that's what people need. They don't like one-dimensional characters. Or they'll like them, for a time, um, but it starts to wear on a person. We want to see more. We want to see interesting. We want to see. Okay, it's all about what have you done for me lately, and what has Damien really done. So this R-Truth is the best thing that he's got going. And honestly, and all this is no fault of their own. Um, I mean, at what point do you kind of go with, oh, it's the talent's fault, oh, it's the company's fault? But I know that they're all trying. It's hard. What we do is very difficult.
It
Trying to
is.
read people, uh, it's not a talent that comes to a lot. Trying to read a crowd. You
I'm
just
looking over.
have to kind of
Oh,
feel
go
it,
ahead.
right? Right, Mikey? Do Do we acknowledge the teddy bear?
Who did what?
I said, do we acknowledge your teddy bear? Is that
You better.
okay? Good. Good. That to me, that's interesting.
There you go.
That's somebody I like. That's somebody I want to see. Maybe you should bring him back.
Oh, Fred's around.
He's around. He's always watching. The omnipresent Teddy.
All right, Patrick, if you could, let's see if we can get Mike turned up just a little bit. I'm going to say a couple of things, and then Mike, I'm going to need you to talk for a minute. Got Jello in the chat saying Priest and Charlotte Flair right now are being themselves for the first time, and they seem happy with it. They seem happier than they have in the past. Mike, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love Charlotte. And I didn't used to. That's great. I can hear myself now. I don't know what was done with the sound, but it sounds really weird. I do like the sound of my own voice, obviously, but I don't know if everybody wants to hear the reverb, because I've been told that people don't really like hearing me talk, which is weird. I know that's it's hard to wrap my head around. But anyway, Charlotte Flair is at the best that she's been, and she's getting the best face reaction she's ever got. And that's due to her Alexa Bliss team up. But I think, like you said, it's taking Damian out of his shell and it's taking Charlotte out of hers. I don't want them to turn on each other anytime soon. I think it's working out.
So, Mike, what do you think about it?
Oh, I can kind of echo what Lee said, because they are feeling more natural right now, and I feel like we're getting more natural reactions. I kind of think they're in the middle of ribbing Damian Priest just a little bit with R-Truth.
A little.
They're not exactly telling him what's going to happen, and they're just kind of letting Truth do his thing, and then Damian gets to react, which is great. It's working out really well. As far as the match goes with him and Tama Tonga, Tama Tonga saved his ass. There was a spot where he was standing up on the top rope and started to lose his grip, and Tama got over there as quick as he could so he could not fall to the outside and hurt himself.
And that's what it's all about.
Before that, you're absolutely right. That's what it's all about, and kudos to him for that. Now, I'd said I was going to say something about the internet wrestling community a little later, and this is what it is. I've heard a lot of hate from the IWC regarding the match between B-Fab and Michin versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And I want to say this about it. While Flair and Bliss and Michin are all wily veterans in the ring, B-Fab's still relatively new to in-ring workings. And she's, personally, myself, feel she carried herself well in that match. Were there some spots she could use a little polish? Yes, of course. Anybody new to the ring is going to have that. But she held her own with three of the best in the women's division. And I'm going to need the IWC to calm down.
Yeah. B-Fab I think she's found her place, finally.
I think so.
She was searching for a while. Hit Row, the Pride, I believe is what they're called. The Pride. Yeah. The Bobby Lashley Street Profits group. This is where she needed to be. And it takes a while to figure things out. We've still got a guy in training who is coming up with a million different names for himself. I won't say any names. Prime time, Mr. 500. But yeah, so it takes a while to figure out who you are. And unless who you are was always in here, you just have to look a little deeper.
And I agree with that. I think she's found a good place for herself, and the people she's working with are going to help her shine. And you can't really go wrong when you have Charlotte Flair, multi-time champion. You've got Blister, which is apparently Charlotte Flair's name for Alexa Bliss now,
Yeah.
who is also a multi-time champion. You've got Michin, who is I want to say a multi-time champion as well, and they're all working with her to bring her level up. And
I don't
good
think
on
she's
them.
won a championship in WWE. Unless you count the 24/7, she may have won that. I have an odd memory for championships. I know that she did some work in TNA. And I know she's been around the indies and whatnot, and she was in, what is that awful group that really went nowhere, the Antifa guys with the masks.
You talking
I'm
about the
blanking.
OC?
No, that was good.
I was gonna say I liked the OC.
The OC was good. I'm talking about during the COVID era. What's
You're
that?
talking about who?
Retribution.
Thank you. Retribution. I was gonna say Revolution. I was like, see, that's how how forgettable they were. So Michin's had a bit of a journey herself, but I think she's found it as well. And with Jade, they're working.
They are. And Jade, of course, causing the disqualification, pulling Alexa Bliss out of the ring right in front of the ref and beating on her. That took us into something that kind of a teaser video that I'm sure, Lee, that you enjoyed, and that was the teaser video for one Blake Monroe.
Oh, I love Blake Monroe. I want to be like her too. Another like a Ms. Blake Monroe mashup. I want to just she's just great. I can't wait. I just don't know when she's gonna show up. I don't know if she's gonna be, arriving as much as Veer Mahan was arriving. We've seen quite a few vignettes, let's say.
Well, I could see her showing up at Italy, make the little trip from Milan.
Oh man. Yeah, and I think I think I've seen her in the neighborhood. I have a seasonal residence over there. Just, I'll go every now and then. It's a nice place, but I'm pretty sure I've seen her around. So yeah, it would be a hop, skip, and a jump for her to make it.
Here's hoping that she does, because I'm looking forward to it. That, of course, takes us to our main event, Gunther versus Royce Keys. And here's the thing about this match. This match is twofold for me. One, it proved why both these men were absolutely the right people to have a number one contenders match. Secondly, it was almost like this was a test run for Royce Keys, and he passed every bit of that test. He works well in the ring, like he belongs in the main event. He's one of the few people on the roster that can make Gunther look small. Like, there's not a lot of people that can do that.
Sure.
And he overpowered Gunther 2 or 3 times. So I think this was a big step forward for Royce Keys in the company.
Yeah, the match was brutal looking. Just two big dudes. And Gunther likes to lay it in. Mm-hmm. We saw it. Royce was able to absorb it and give it back, kind of like Bishop-esque. I don't know if you know your X-Men lore. Yeah, I assumed. You said you're a Marvel fan. So it's almost like, he can kind of absorb those hits and just give it back tenfold. And I don't know if that's what they were intending with that storytelling, but that's what I got. And the solo thing is an interesting direction for him. So I like where this is going. He's Jacob Fatu-less, because I know that they have been friends. They've been showing their friendship on SmackDown. Jacob Fatu is now on Raw. Is this a good segue into Raw?
It actually is. This is the perfect segue. Of course, the Solo thing you're talking about. Solo does come out, throws a chair to Royce. Royce says no, hits Solo right in the face with it. But that does give Gunther the chance to get the power bomb, the 1, 2, 3. So it will be Cody versus Gunther, Saturday night's main event.
Sure, and it always was. It was just a cool way to get there. I always enjoy watching a chair get thrown at somebody's head. I will say that.
All in all, I thought it was a strong show. I give it a solid B for SmackDown.
That's good. That'll work.
That takes us into Raw, and like you were talking about with Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, we have Roman show up, and he says, tells Adam Pearce, "You can't fire him until I do what I got to do. I'm gonna go out there and call him out right now." And Jacob's music hits. He done beat Roman to the punch, so he calls Roman out. But it's not Roman that comes out; it's the Usos. And what's the phrasing? I believe they got dog walked.
I mean, it sounds interesting coming out of your mouth, but we'll go with it.
Roman comes out. We get the Usos and Roman finally get where they need to get with Jacob Fatu. They tie him up in the ropes. There's super kicks. There's Superman punches. There's spears. They finally leave him laying on the mat and start to walk away. And then Jacob Fatu says the two most dangerous words in the bloodline: tribal combat.
So when he said that, my brain went to the video game where they're on the island of relevancy. I wish we were going to see something similar to the supernatural nature of that match. I know that we're not, but tribal combat, to me, it does sound dangerous, and we know it's just probably going to be a no disqualification, etc., etc. You know,
100%.
but I mean,
what you get
it's
into,
cool.
What you get into with tribal combat,
Yeah,
is it is violent, it is brutal. There are no rules, and there's only been, this will be the third tribal combat, and Roman's won the other two.
and who are the other two against? Can you refresh me?
One with Solo and one with Jay.
Okay, there you go.
Now there are things that happen with a match like this. Should the unthinkable happen, should Jacob Fatu beat Roman Reigns in this, he is now the tribal chief. And can you imagine a world where we have Jacob Fatu as the tribal chief and Roman has to acknowledge him?
I assume some rules would change. We'd get a different dental plan in the bloodline than the previous veneers that Roman Reigns sports.
We get them gold fronts.
Yeah, no, and it'll be mandatory, and I think the Usos would be down with it. I don't think Roman would enjoy it so much, but for them to follow a new tribal chief would be an interesting direction. I don't see it going that route. However, I see it going the route of Roman winning and Jacob having to acknowledge him. Maybe a new bloodline can form with just the four of them. You never know. And
It could, there's a whole lot of numbers of ways this could go, and I'm interested to see where it is.
Intriguing.
It is. It really is. And we go from there into the street fight. Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. The program between these two has been impressive to me. Of course, Finn's going to put on an offensive match. He always does. But I want to say JD McDonough and his sell is second to none. He sells things so well that, I mean, you don't know how he's getting up. He does the Darby Allin move without the Darby Allin hospital visit.
And more athleticism than Darby. I've never made that connection. That's pretty interesting. I think he's got more athleticism and definitely a better wrestler than a Darby Allin. Nothing against Darby or his style. But I mean, yeah, it's just JD is getting recognized at least, and that's good. He's breaking out. You know, he's out of Balor's shadow.
He is 100% out of the shadow. And Mike, as a promoter, when you see something like this with the way Finn Balor and JD McDonough work together and the story of getting JD out from under the shadow of Finn Balor, where does your mind go in something like this?
Definitely not in the same direction that they're going right now. I would definitely go with having JD do some other things that weren't involving with Finn. Get him away from that whole situation and try to possibly work him up as a supreme competitor for Penta.
It's the sound of it. I'm looking over at the chat. Jello saying there are a few people that can take a Gunther chop and just stare back at him, but yeah, Royce Keys is one. Also, JD not only sells well, it's amazing he's still alive. That man will fly all over the place.
I'm glad he got the Mania spotlight.
Yes, I am 100% with you on that. That takes us into probably one of my favorite segments of the night. Sol Ruka's backstage giving a promo. Becky interrupts, says, "You need to go on back, run on back to NXT. You're not ready to be here." And then Sol leaves, and those of us that were watching think, "What are we doing here?" And Sol Ruka's music hits, and Becky's like, "Is that her music?" And so, yeah, I think it is. And so Sol's like, "You didn't want to listen to me back there. You think I should run off to NXT? So I'm gonna say it right here. I'm gonna take your belt from you. I think we ought to have a match right here, right now. Come on out." And Becky being Becky, and kudos to Becky. She plays the Karen better than anybody I know. And I'm not the only one that says it. Sports Illustrated says it. The Bleacher Report says it.
I see.
See what I did there?
I do. I enjoy it. Let me just say, Becky is, for me, always a top 5, but I think she's like literally one of the best in the world at what she does. And like, okay, let's say that she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I know that's crazy, but when you say wrestler, people think like, oh, pure, wrestle, hold for hold. Becky's one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, and she's good at the job. She does exactly what needs to be done, always gets a reaction. I was a bit skeptical when she came back as a heel, but this time it works as opposed to the time previously where they were forcing a heel after her face momentum, if people want to call it that. The run with the man. I think that was a bit just kind of not, it wasn't right for the time. Now the time is right.
Yes.
I believe that Becky as a heel works.
I'm excited in the fact that coming into the main roster, Sol Ruka gets to work with a Becky Lynch because she is going to learn so much being in the ring with Becky. And I think that's absolutely great because Sol Ruka is going to be one of the stars that's going to be around for the next 10, 15 years, you know?
Yeah, exactly my point from earlier. Yeah. The company has a lot invested in her.
Mhm.
We're gonna see a lot of Sol Ruka for years to come.
I'm a big Sol Ruka fan, and I just like to say for those members of the IWC that are watching that like to say that she's not going to make it because she's just Lita Light, go buy a light bulb or something because Sol Ruka is great.
Everybody, that's the thing. People like to say, "Oh, they're like Team U, Logan Paul," which is what Jesse gets a lot online from these stupid people who think that they're a part of the show, so they like to think they're funny, and they'll say Team U this, Team U that, light, whatever. There's only so many acts in pro wrestling. You have to kind of find your way, and along the way you might step on a few toes, but you know what? I doubt the person before really cares. That's the thing, is like, things have, most likely they're gonna, like, they've been done. It's just like, don't copy bit for bit every single thing that the person does. I don't want to say another name of somebody that I'm thinking of who is a champion in BCW. Emilio Guzman. But it's just how it is. You have to carve your own path, and people they like to pick at little things. When Owens did the stunner, oh, he's ripping off Stone Cold. But it's more of like an homage, like, how many moves are we gonna see? Like, it's going to be the same. Somebody's move has already been done. RKO was the Diamond Cutter. So what? He did it differently, different variation. Mason Rook just did a variation of John Cena's FU, attitude adjustment, whatever you want to call it. We're going to see the same stuff. It's more of the presentation, how it's done, if the timing's right. There's so much to it that people don't understand, but they like to pretend that they do.
No, they like to armchair quarterback, and it's annoying as hell when they do.
I'm sure you've experienced some of that, both of you.
Oh yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah.
Looking over at the chat, Jello saying Soul is the only wrestler I can recall that comes up with a new move every match.
Interesting. I don't know about every match, but she is pretty innovative. I could see why they would say Lita in terms of the innovation, because the Hardy Boys had moves that you had never seen before, and Lita kind of copied that, and it worked out well for her.
So we're doing a little experiment here where we're also on the Not Your Average Mark TikTok right now. We're live on TikTok, and there's somebody on here. Got to say what's up to them because they sent a gift. Looks like Siraf. Siraf, appreciate you. That takes us into our next match. El Grande Americano, Bravo, and Rayo versus OG Americano, Julio, and Bruto. I never thought we would get to this point. I really didn't. Like when Chad Gable did the Grande Americano thing, I was like, okay, haha, funny. We're a year and some change later, and now we're having Grande Americano versus OG Americano in a mask versus mask match, which this match did a good job of playing to that. That match, of course, on the 30th with AAA.
Not a Hispanic man in sight.
No. And you got a German that beats. I live in the state of Texas. And I got a German guy that speaks better Spanish than most of the people I hang out with.
It's great. And you know what? Mexico's embraced him.
Yes.
All current issues aside, he does what he does well, and like he's very fluent in Spanish. He's very beloved by the AAA fans. It's such a well done story between the two that you almost don't want to see it end, but it's coming to that logical conclusion that only one can survive. That it's very Highlander-esque.
Yes, there can be only one.
A sword and all.
Yeah. I'm here for it too. I'll say personally, and this is pulling the curtain back a little bit. So if you don't like to have the curtain pulled back, cover your ears or something. I really feel like, provided he can get through the legal troubles that he has right now, I believe that El Grande Americano is going to win this match simply because Chad Gable can lose the mask and stand as Chad Gable. No problems whatsoever. He can be put into a storyline like this. He's got that character. He's still got, the All-Americans, the brothers, the Creed brothers.
Creed brothers, yeah.
He's still got Ivy Nile if he needs it. He can still get into something with Otis and Tozawa. Like, there's several different storylines you can drop him into. Kaiser was part of Gunther's group. Where do you put him in as a solo competitor that you don't have to create a storyline for? So it just and with as much as the Spanish crowd loves him, the AAA crowd loves him, I just don't see a world where Kaiser loses that match.
It would be foolish to take it away from him for sure, for multiple reasons, and just some reasons that you stated as well as others. Kaiser, he's the guy. He's doing what needs to be done. That's why you put certain gimmicks on certain people. You just see what works. You're just kind of throwing stuff at a wall and see what sticks, and that's sticking like glue. People love it. That's, and I love it too. I think it's great. It's great for television. He's good at it, and the Rayo and Bravo, they're along for the ride. I believe those men would have been released if not for this.
I believe you're absolutely 100% right. One thing I do like is that, like, listening to Kaiser talk, he doesn't just speak very fluent Spanish. He doesn't. He uses the phrasing that we would think to hear. Like, he's going to look at you and be like, "No mames, way." Like, he's not like, he gets into the slang side of it too and does it well. So
I like your
enjoy it.
pronunciation.
Thank you. Oil field about 20 years.
There you
So,
go. Okay, so I could tell there was a little something there. If we see you in a mask soon, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, you never know when Guapo Mocha Latte is going to come in.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that's a great name.
So the Obafemi challenge. I am a fan of the open challenge. I have been since John Cena did it with the U.S. title. I've always loved open challenges, and I love the way they're doing this one. However, Brock Lesnar coming back during said open challenge was not on my bingo card.
Me either. I knew he would come back. I just didn't know when. Open challenges are very unpredictable and enjoyable. I think they're done with Obas.
Probably so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that can step to Oba, especially because now they've built this giant. They've built. He's somebody who slayed the beast almost decisively. So it's hard to find a competitive nature when you're doing that open challenge. Somebody like a Sami Zayn, I think it's more conducive for. Somebody like a Carmelo Hayes.
Melo did a real good job with it, and so did Sammy. I'll agree with you 100% on that.
Right, but somebody like Oba, I think that's probably the last we'll see of it.
We keep throwing a joke out there because the incomparable Paul Heyman had a little slip up and called him Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. Brock Lesnar is going to be in a match with Obafemi in Italy because Brock Lesnar is retired, so it's not going to be him. But Brock Lesnar is absolutely going up against Obafemi in Italy.
Brock Lesnar. Do you guys remember Owen Hart telling Brett that he kicked his leg out of his leg? And for some reason, that's what it reminded me of.
It's so funny you bring that up because every time I think about I kicked your leg out of your leg, because of who we work with and West Texas Independent Wrestling, I hear Phoenix every time. I'm gonna kick your head off your head.
I was gonna mention that. He said he was gonna kick his head off of his head. And I thought the Owen Hart thing, I even mentioned it on commentary. Kick your leg out of your leg kind of deal that Phoenix. He needs a shirt that says I'm gonna kick your head off of your head.
Yeah.
Need to get to designing.
We need to make that happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
I know a guy.
So we end Raw with Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory. I enjoyed this match personally. A lot of people giving this match a whole lot of hell. It showed Seth can still go. Even though they've kind of pushed the injury/age angle with him in the last couple of instances he's had, it shows that Seth he can still go.
Oh, yeah. No, Seth's perfect.
So you get him in the ring with a much younger Austin Theory, who is a good talent himself. Just a little trivia for you, and I mentioned this on the watch along, which you can see on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast Discord. No cheap plug.
It works.
Austin Theory has been in a BCW ring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what, like Mike could tell you more about what year it was, but yeah, he has wrestled in a BCW ring.
That's cool. That's very cool trivia. I like that.
I enjoyed this match. Not only did we get to see Seth can still go, but we got the buckle bomb, which we haven't seen in a minute. We got the pedigree, which we haven't seen in a minute. Of course, the pedigree gets the win. Breaker shows up. They get to beating down Seth. Angelo Dawkins comes out, only to catch a beat down himself. And then Tez comes out to a huge pop, Montez Ford, and reluctantly saves the day.
I do like that, what they're doing. Street Profits are getting a spot that they deserve, I believe. They're just good at the TV stuff. I'm a big Dawkins guy. I think that man, he can go. And
Oh, yeah.
I even more so than Tez, I just like Dawkins' style more. Um, Seth is just perfect. He's evolving. He changing like Jericho. His moveset doesn't need to be as dangerous as it used to be, and he's a little bit more rickety than he used to be. He's still fantastic. He's still going great. He's trying to help Breaker. Then he's the guy to do it. He's the guy to go against the Vision and make guys like Theory great. Once Bronson gets back, it's going to be a different story. Um,
Don't know
it,
if you follow the socials, but Bronson Reed actually posting on his social clocks. Clocks are ticking.
there you go. I did get to interact with Bronson once about how I would enter a Bronson Reed lookalike contest. So him and I kind of we went back and forth a little bit. He's a very nice guy. Very well, not so nice in the ring. A switch flips, I'll say. But yeah, I'm a big Bronson Reed guy. I think he would add that missing element to the Vision. Especially with the Logan Paul. Logan Paul gets a great reaction. It's nothing against him. The Fire Logan Paul song was
Great.
present. It's very catchy. I've been
It
humming
is.
it.
It is a catchy tune. Well, the thing about Logan Paul that I'll throw out there, you catch all sorts of hate about Logan Paul. I hate Logan Paul in the ring. Logan Paul's an asshole. I don't like what. That's because Logan Paul is doing his job.
Yeah, that's the point.
You're supposed to hate Logan Paul.
I think he's just good at it because it's natural to him to be disliked. But he's doing great. There's no. And people like to, kind of use him as a point of contention, saying like, "Oh, he's a better wrestler than so and so." But he's just learning. He seems to be applying his craft and showing up more often than he was. So it's good. It's good to see him. I'm glad that he's doing it. I may not be the biggest, enjoyer of the Vision story at the moment, but I like where it's going. I'd like to see, with the profits in it.
The injuries definitely kind of messed a couple of things up and slowed
did.
down the process. Looking over at the chat, Eska saying Legner's jeans are 2-0 against him.
Yeah. We saw the SpongeBob action, little pants ripping.
Jello making a good point. I have a feeling that Seth and Becky are close to deciding to step away from the ring and go raise their child.
And so be it. If they do, they've left it a better place.
Absolutely. Well said. I don't think I could have said that any better.
Yeah, that's what they've done, and if that's what they choose to do, more power to them, man, because the company is in good hands. And because of them, it's going to be great.
I agree wholeheartedly. Now let's talk about some wrestling going on right here in West Texas, and that, of course, being the Squared Circle Pro Tornado Slam going on Saturday night, right here in Lubbock, Jake's Back Room. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Okay, so war has begun. That's the big thing.
Civil War.
And that's what's interesting about this is you and I are on opposing sides. But I like to remain professional. And I know that you had some issues with my boss. My other boss, I guess technically. You guys are also my boss.
My issue is with Rick, not with you. That's the way I see this.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I know that's a big point of contention. I won't speak too much on that. I will talk about my place being. I consider myself the host of SCP. You said announcer, interviewer, and I like to be present for the show. I like to even try to run commentary. That little what's that little stupid guy's name? Chris. Yeah, he wouldn't let me on commentary last time. I almost smacked his head off of his head, like Phoenix would say. But I let cooler heads prevail. So I like to just work at SCP. I like to be out amongst, and I know as weird as this is to say, amongst those people. So I'm excited to see them. I've got something planned that, like I stated earlier, I've got something planned for them. I'm trying to appeal more to those kinds of humans. So
I get you.
what I have planned hopefully will win them over a little bit. I'm trying to get on their good side, and my buddy, fellow co-host Josh Ryan is trying to help me through that. So I know I've had a rough time with the fans, but even though I'm on the LZ administration side and in the administration, I'm going to try to remain professional and neutral and try to be a little bit more, how do I say, inclusive with the fans. And they haven't been super nice to me, in the
Standing in
past.
the ring, I see it. They do have a loud opinion regarding you.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I look forward to the same recycled jokes that I'm going to hear. But, I take it in stride. I don't, I see it as jealousy, and I see it as they're unhappy with themselves, and that's fine. Whatever. If that's what they need instead of going to therapy, be my guest. Come yell at the pretty guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, whatever helps you sleep at night, I suppose. And I hope that they're going to get a nice sleep over what I'm going to present to them.
I will say this, whether Mr. LZ and myself have a difference of opinion, difference of ideology as it comes to professional wrestling. One thing anybody that's ever been there can agree on, including you, Mike, is I've never been to a bad Squared Circle Pro show. And I feel like Tornado Slam is going to be just that.
Tornado Slam. It's going to be akin to a tornado. There's a lot of matchups, and King Gringo and Emilio being one of those that was announced on social media. Just
Actually, before you go too much further with that, let me run this card for you real quick. You've
sure.
got Baby Samoa versus Nico North. You've got Stevan Remsen versus Franco Varga. You've got Ryan Justice versus Jesse the Kid James. You've got Aaron Harms, Draven Reeves, and Lau going up in a 6-man against Mateo El Feo, Jeb Bingham, and JP Nitro. You've got the Square Circle Pro West Texas Tag Team title match, that being the Carnales, Tio and Cholo versus Lamigro with Watson and Diablo Blanco. Loser leaves town match on that one. One team's going to be the champion, the other team is gone.
Huge.
And then, of course, like you said, we've got King Gringo versus Emilio Guzman for the SCP championship. And then we have a match that you can speak on because this has a whole lot to do with you, and that being the 101 champion, Jordan Slade, issuing an open challenge.
Jordan Slade is my guy. He's just somebody who has, because he started at 101 before me. He was the first student. I don't know if anybody knows that. He has evolved. He is his own wrestler, and what he knows, he has imparted on others. And people think, he's just arrogant just because he is iconically arrogant for a reason. It's because he can back it up. He's got the look, he's got the ability, and he's figured himself out. His presentation is fantastic, and I've been, I guess, picked on for, I don't know if you saw, there's a picture going around online, and it looks very sus. I gave him a kiss on the abs. Now, I think that people are jealous. Again, they want to be in my position. They want to be the one to give him the ab kiss. So Jordan is in the process of debuting a new club. And I'll let him announce that when the time is right.
Right.
But I think you know where this is going.
I do, in fact.
So maybe we'll see it, maybe not. The 101 championship being on the line. I wish I could say that this was my idea. If it were, I would have given Jordan Slade the night off, just due to his hard work. However, the powers that be above me, the head above the head, has decided to put Jordan in a match for the one-on-one championship. Do we know his opponent? No.
Mike, you look like you got something to say about that.
Well, you would think that Jordan Slade would learn from G5's mistakes.
Valid point. Mike saying you think he would learn from G5's mistakes?
We got G5 coming out, making an open challenge a couple of months ago, having a match with Algie Olsen. Mateo Alfeo comes in and steals the title. Why would he even agree to an open challenge?
Good point. I see what you're saying. Here's where they differ. G5 let his emotions cloud his judgment, as to where Jordan knows exactly what he's doing and he can control it. Now, did you see the fit that G5 threw after losing the championship? That's, that's what sets them apart, is that Jordan is the cooler head that will prevail. His open challenge, he knows that he is going to be taking on any competitor, but he's been training for any eventuality. So I believe Jordan knows a bit more what he's getting into as to a G5, somebody who likes to stay dangerous. How about stay prepared? How about that as a catchphrase?
Fired. Okay.
Hypothetically, he's putting an open challenge up. Is that going to be for only one-on-one, or is that completely open to anybody that's in that locker room?
That's a great question.
Could I challenge for the one-on-one championship?
You're gonna go full mask.
I will. I have
Guapo
to have the
Americano.
mask and everything.
There you go. It could be anybody. You could bring the teddy bear out. It could be, whatever. Honestly, I don't think Jordan I think he's going to include all. I think he's very inclusive. He's very magnanimous like that. So anybody who wants to, they can get it. That's what I believe.
So I'm just going to throw a hypothetical out, just because you say it's anybody. What if somebody like Brick Savage was in that locker room?
Anybody, sure.
You look a little nervous in that, and I would be too. I've had to stand in a ring between Brick Savage and Nobi Bryant and try to keep them from beating each other up till the match starts. Never again.
Jordan's ready.
Well, I will say this about Jordan. People say that he is quite conceited. I prefer to call it convinced. Like, if once you prove to me that you can back up what you're saying, you go from conceited to convinced. And I wish him the best of luck. An open challenge match for a championship. It's rough stuff, man. But we're going to end up with 7 matches worth of awesome this Saturday night. Jake's Back Room. Doors at 5:30, bells at 6. If you are anywhere in the Lubbock area, you need to be there. But you know what? $10 at the door. That's insanity. For what we're going to see, it's $10 at the door.
It's great. Honestly, it's a steal.
Now we're coming to that 9:30 point where we're going to start shutting it down, but we do have one more thing to talk about, and that was announced at the BCW Head Game Show, and that is Ground Zero, going down July 11th at the Mallet Event Center in Levelland. We are making it big. We're going big. It's not only BCW Texas, it's also Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101, and now also Squared Circle Pro. 3 promotions, 1 show. It's going to be huge.
So I have a question.
Yes.
What is your plan for me? Because I'm somebody who likes to do it all. I will do just about anything. and I have done just about anything, I could pull triple duty. So I'm a little curious as to what, and honestly, if you don't want to tell me, it can be a surprise too. I like to work on the fly. So whatever you got, I'm ready for it. I'm involved in all three. It's going to be one of the biggest shows of the year. This is three hardworking companies, and it's cool that we're all working together. The cohesion and the teamwork is like nothing this area has ever seen.
You want me to handle this one?
Get it?
Well, you will be as a commentator. for
Great,
practically
Mr. Ringside.
No, actually, Mr. Ringside is not going to be available.
Can I take this one?
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah,
You can have this one.
You know we love you, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ringside making it known that due to family obligations, he's not going to be able to be there for July 11th. So we have found somebody that we know that you work well with, somebody that we know that you have chemistry with, that can be there and do commentary with you. So I'm happy to announce the commentary for the July 11th show will be the Lee XL alongside Mr. Josh Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome. Look how happy he is.
I'm
You're very
so
welcome.
happy. That's gonna be great.
It's going to be
I
awesome.
can't wait to see Josh Ryan again. So I've
Now-
got a burger and a bubble bath waiting. I think that's my time. I'm gonna go.
Well, I do. It is time for us to shut it down. If you are anywhere near Lubbock, you need to be at Jake's Back Room this Saturday night, Squared Circle Pro Tornado Slam. You need to be at the Mallet Event Center, Levelland, Texas, July 11th for Ground Zero, the first 3-promotion show in West Texas. Big, huge, awesome. Look, that's how happy Lee XL is right now with the
So
information
happy.
that he's just gotten. It's going to be a good time. So before you go, Lee, there's a thing I always do on the show that I'm going to now offer to you. For the people watching, for the people listening, for the wrestling world in general, please give us your final thoughts.
So let's put aside what was just the monumental announcement that you dropped on me.
Monumental is a good word.
My final thoughts are whatever comes the way of the administration. I know that we're down 5-1. However, there have been comebacks unforeseen. Kobe Bryant level comebacks from talents. I cannot get Josh Ryan's face out of my head. Look, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited. I hope that everybody goes to see my new look. Josh Ryan or not, it's going to be fantastic. What a good show. And then we're going to have a super show. We've got a lot coming up with 101. I'm super pumped. We've got a show in Iran, Texas as well. That's coming down in the next few weeks. Look out for that. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be good. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so good.
It's going
I'm
to
not
be.
mad at all.
I can tell you're just bubbling with happy energy.
So happy. Thank you for having me.
Lee, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We're going to have to run this back, do it again soon. Good luck with everything we've got going on, and I will see you Saturday.
I'll see you, Mike. I'll see you too.
Appreciate you being on. Mike, it's your turn. For everybody watching, everybody listening, the wrestling world in general, what are your final thoughts?
So, we since we are on the subject of July 11th, I'm going to go ahead and make a small little announcement about the fact that we always do something that's community impact.
Absolutely.
So, not only is Ground Zero going to be a super show, we will have the Ground Zero food drive. We have it pairing with local hunger relief partners to do a combined food drive in conjunction with this event. So, big
The-
things to come on that.
The food drive aspect of this, as much as it pains me to say it, like our last show was for teachers. It was our teacher appreciation show. And being the husband of a teacher, I hear about things that break my heart. And one of the things I hear about are there are kids that, because they're not having that lunch at school, there are times that they don't have that lunch. And in setting up a program like you have, and kudos to you for it, Mike, we can ensure that food can be distributed out to those people so they've got that lunch, they've got that dinner, they've got wholesome food that will nourish the body. And to make it even more fun, for every two, whether it be canned items or dry good items, for every two you bring, if I understand correctly, correct me if I'm wrong here, you get a raffle ticket
Mm-hmm.
and can win prizes. You can feed people and win prizes all in the same night.
So, if people were around for BCW Head Games, you got to see what grand prizes were donated to us to give away. And I have talked to the individual that donated those, and he said there is more to where that came from.
An awesome individual that is too. It's going to be a great show for all of West Texas wrestling, and the first big super show like this that I personally have gotten to be a part of, and that we've had in this area of West Texas in a long time. So I'm looking forward to it. As far as final thoughts, I just want to thank everybody. I love this so much. I love getting to come on here, talk wrestling, talking with Mike, talking with Leah Excel. Hell, if Rick showed up tonight, I'd enjoy talking with Rick. Just the ability to talk to you guys. This is my therapy. This is how I get through the week, is knowing that I get to do this with you guys. So I do want to thank everybody that watches, everybody that listens, everybody that comments. Mike, I want to thank you for being on. I know Lee's already jumped off, but thank you to Lee for being a part of the show. And of course, thank you to Patrick. Thank you to the guy for making things happen. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time on this show, and we're going to have a good time Saturday at Jake's Back Room for Square Circle Pro Tornado Slam. So if you're in the area, you've got to be there for this one.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, that's going to be our time. We're about 10 minutes over, but that's okay. I want to thank everybody again for being here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night for SmackDown and Saturday night at Jake's. Until then, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. He's not, he looks like he's up there, but the screen's black. That was Lee XL. We are not your average marks. We'll see y'all next time. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink it all away and find my head rush. I'm